once again, my dear tea growers. We agreed this time round we are going to plant trees, then help them, support them, facilitate them grow. So this time round we agreed, after the rains have come and in plenty, we are growing trees. My name is 𝐓𝐑𝐄𝐄𝐒. I welcome you to our another wonderful program where we're gonna learn more about more and more medicinal trees, herbal trees, and more technicalities on how to grow trees. And it is my pleasure once again to welcome our tree experts, forest researcher, Mr. Bernard Bass. Hey, and you looked very comfortable seated on that.
I was after lengthy walk in the sun.
Yes.
Here we are. Let me get seated.
And myself, do I kneel down or?
No, just have a seat. Yeah.
Okay.
This is not a seat. Have a stone. Last but not least.
Yes.
Here we are. We are on another very important tree.
Yes.
People have been valuing and emphasizing this tree.
Yes.
And it's very important. One, it has got a lot of medicinal properties.
This one?
This one.
Mukidori.
Mukidori.
Aye.
Mukidori is the Kikuyu name for this botanical name, 𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒 megalocarpus. One, Mukidori are in the same family with the Newtonia megalocarpus, and all the megalocarpuses are very good in treatments of skin diseases. Fresh cut woods. If you just cut this plant here, just here, there's some sap coming from it. Accidentally, when you are doing some cultivation or cutting something, you cut your hand or cut your leg, get a freshly cut branch, especially the succulent ones. Succulent, I mean at the end, which are very young, they produce a lot of sap. And this sap, when you apply it to the freshly cut wood, the oozing of the wood will automatically heal.
You called it 𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒
megalocarpus. Megalocarpus.
𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒
Megalocarpus.
megalocarpus.
Megalo is a very big one because it's got a very big seed.
Okay.
Carpus is the cap where the seed is enclosed.
Okay.
So megalocarpus. Mukidori and Mutondo are in the same family. And of course, Mutondo is not new to you. What have you been using Mutondo for?
The same thing you have talked about.
Does it? The sap?
The sap, on fresh cut foods. Yes.
I understand, but I've not gone further into it. My explanation was zeroing on the flesh woods and whatever. But the document I've given you would give you more details, and then Google 𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒 megalocarpus, not only 𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒 but the megalocarpus. It give you a lot of uses for this plant. In any case, it can also be used for rheumatism, the drink, but I don't know how you are going to get the concoctions and how you are going to make it. Just
You
Google and you consult
the experts.
The experts.
The herbal.
The other thing is, of late, as late as some 2, 3, 5 years ago, the researchers have come up with bioprospecting. Bioprospecting means we are looking for alternatives of fuel for our cars. You see, we have been exporting a lot of oil, petrol and whatever. We are getting, we are thinking.
We don't want to export.
No.
Stop importing.
Stop importing. But of course, it's not overnight. It's a thing which you get, because even we don't have a ready stock for these plants. The fruits are known to have good properties of diesel. And there's another plant associated with it, not even associated, but they produce the same thing. We are prospecting 2 different species, Jatropha curcas and 𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒 megalocarpus. Their seeds have got very high oil content, which can be made to crude oil and then get our diesel for our cars. Otherwise, that is the far we are going. And then, of course, because the seed of croton is a bit huge, not like the mango size, but of course the sizable. We are also thinking of utilizing the husks of the fruits for briquetting. We want to get the briquettes from because of course when you get the seed for the oil, we are going to have a lot of waste for those nuts. We want to prospect the usage of briquettes for our charcoal making. The other thing is that the croton has got very high calorific value. Calorific value.
Okay.
Calories, that is energy, that is cooking. Kwa hivyo makaa ya mukindori have got very high calorific value.
For the tree now?
The tree now. Okay. The wood itself.
The wood.
Yeah, itself. But unfortunately, we have got different setups of different tribes, different family setups. When you go to Ukambani, I've been in Ukambani for the last 30 years, you have been dismissing these plants, growing of these plants.
Yeah.
Whenever I go with a bunch, like 200, 300 tree seedlings for any tree planting activity, I would eventually go back with my seedlings. Why? They have got, I believe, and these are, they have got taboos and whatever you call them. That if you plant this tree in your shamba, in your home compound, that home will be untenable. There will be a lot of commotion between the father, the mother,
when
the kids.
When you plant the mukidori?
Not necessarily even the Ukambani, but also go to Western. Planting it is a taboo.
Allah.
Otherwise, when you come to Kikuyu, we like mukidori very much.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it depends from one setup, from one tribe to the other.
Maybe they discourage it indirectly because under this tree, you know you can't do much.
Not necessarily. They have got a belief. I believe for planting this tree, they have got reservations. And ukipeleka hii miti, mwisho utaambiwa rudi na miti yako. Kama ni hii miti tu peke yake umetuletea.
Umeleta commotion.
Umeleta fujo kwa maboma zetu.
Yes.
Well.
But you say it's medicinal?
It's highly medicinal.
Yeah.
Just go through that software hard copy.
But you don't use anything else for the medicinal purpose apart from the sap?
No, the sap only. It's only the sap.
Okay.
For the seed, I'm not very sure, but Googling will also help us.
I would also challenge the animal feeds.
Exactly, yes.
The animal feed manufacturers to also research on the seeds, because I knew it's the mature crotons are friends to the doves.
I also tend to think when you have talked about the animal feeds, I tend to also think about it.
So it could be having some nutrients for birds. You know, we could be missing something.
The other thing is, I don't know whether that taboo is the same or whatever. Is that wherever a croton is growing, a mukidori is growing, you have got a lot of caterpillars. And they mess up your home compound and everything. And even those gonga invade your food crops. I start to be corrected, but I'm not very sure.
Also, you know, when the seeds, without us knowing what we can do with the seeds, when they are on the ground, you know, there is nothing much you can do.
Exactly, yes.
Even the roots of this tree when it matures up.
But I like the tree. Even the growth is very fast.
Hey, you really like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the tree.
Even the cover.
It's only that I was working under very stressful conditions with our kamba that they don't need them.
Yeah.
But it's a very good.
Didn't have enough time to deal with the taboos.
It's a very good species.
Okay. The croton, mukidori. When
megalocarpus.
Megalo. Croton megalocarpus. When you were growing up, we found these trees, and I can tell you, I didn't know of any good value.
It's true.
In fact, we really disliked it because one, if it is near the the
house.
The
Gidoris.
Yeah, the Gidoris will keep. However, when it comes to when they dry, when they are on the ground and they dry up, we used it as fuel, as firewood.
Firewood, yes.
We used it to cook githeri.
It's true. It's
yes,
true. Like kimesako.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. In fact, the wood is very good for cooking.
Yes.
It has got very high calorific value, energy.
Yes.
One bunch would cook for you a pot full of githeri.
Yes. I'm sure the person who did that research on the energy part must have used the seeds.
I also tend to think so.
When they were growing. And they saw how...
I've got a fellow scientist who was working with me, Madam 𝐓𝐀𝐿𝐶.
Yes.
She is good at energy producing plants. And she is on it very much.
On this one?
Even the biodiesel. Biodiesel is also fuel.
Oh, 𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒, na you?
That's true. 𝐓𝐾𝐄𝐒
should go around talking about the other value, especially when it comes to the financial, the economic. If the value would be greater than just firewood or the shade under it, I'm sure it will help us overcome those other traditional beliefs. And we get what we could have been missing from this tree that I also don't want to say I've not been valuing it that much. I was actually not actually surprised, but shocked.
You had reservations.
Yes, when you stopped at Croton, I wondered, really, what do you want to learn
tell us
from this traditional
tree?
Yes, not of any use according to my old understanding, but now...
In any case, in the future, especially any coming event on whatever I've been doing today, I'll come up with my good old friend called Mr. Norman Washira, who is working on value addition on forest products in our Karura, or the 𝐶𝐓 Karura research program. It's called Forest and Forest Products program, and he is doing so many things on value addition. We talked of Zimenia, of Croton, of whatever species. When we are through with the tree planting of these various species, we hand over the products to them, and they do some value addition on their products. Call it charcoal, call it fruits, call it jam, call it whatever. They do add value instead of just using the fair value you have with us. We go a niche depth to see what is inside them.
That is wonderful. You know what? We can even visit his station.
Exactly, yes. When do you want?
Soonest.
Okay.
In our next program, it would be important.
In fact, he was talking to me when he learned of. I shared with him whatever we were doing in our last program on tree growing, and he told me, now that Kigwa, you have grown and you have planted these trees, why don't you let me do value addition on them? So that is why he's coming up, or I'm bringing him in on the boat, and then we can even visit his office. He is ever busy with this attire in the lab, doing a lot of kukoroga, everything here and there. Yes, in just next to Muthaiga CID office, Karura Forest Headquarters. That's where our Karura Forest Products program is situated.
In our upcoming programs, our expert here today is promising that we're going to visit another expert to understand more about the values we've been talking about, of the trees we are planting today, on top of all the other natural nice values that we get from the grown trees.
That is Norman Washira. Wairago.
We are coming, Wairago, we are coming. You tell me more about Croton, because it's the first day I'm thinking of any value of this
plant.
And that is the importance of being with the forest experts and researchers who are telling us about this more information that we didn't have. And having this knowledge is quite important when we are having this tree growing initiative. Thank you so much once again, my fellow tree growers. We have really learned a lot in these programs. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for following us. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the reactions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your questions. But of greater importance, of greater value, of greater joy to all of us, to nature, and to yourself, and our other generations to come, is when we put them in practice, and especially in growing trees. My name is 𝐓𝐑𝐄𝐋𝐊, and I am glad to have enjoyed this time with
𝐷𝐾𝐈𝐑.
𝐷𝐾𝐈�.
Thank you very much.
Until the next program,
Welcome.
it's a bye-bye. But we
Bye.
agree we grow
Trees. We
Let's
grow trees.
Thank you.
Asante.
Tutapiga mrogana kadi onete.